Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Jodo Jake. Welcome back to the channel. As you can see, I have a guest with me today. If you haven't had a second to watch my last video where we go and grade some rare first edition base set cards, they are actually all Jason's. Jason, if you'd like to introduce yourself real quick.
What's up, y'all? My name's Jason. Started my Pokemon journey back in '98. Started off with the video game. I was a complete nerd. I bought both red and blue and used to trade Pokemon all the time. But I was hooked. I learned that it was called Pocket Monster, I think.
Pocket Monsters. That's right. You have some Japanese cards.
I had some Japanese cards back in the day, and but I really knew, like, right after playing the game, I knew it was just gonna take off. So when I found about the card game, like, I totally invested in it. Was like I was buying them. I used to buy them at Electronics Boutique.
Okay, yeah. EB Games.
Yeah, EB Games back in the day.
Yeah, because we used to have those in the States, but I think that's only in Australia now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There, and then there's like a Software, etc. I don't know if you guys ever heard one of those, but I think even Suncoast at some point.
Oh my gosh, I haven't heard that name in so long.
Yeah,
Suncoast,
so
wow.
It's complete '90s kid.
Yes.
Growing up with all that stuff, and yeah, man, I just knew that was gonna take it by the helm, man. I was like, I was gonna invest in this. So
heck yeah.
Kept in contact with my cards the whole time. Played in tournaments. Used to go to Toys R Us every weekend, trying to get those damn badges, man. That was
oh yeah.
Yep. We give out promo cards too.
Very cool.
And every now and then you'll see a kid with a crumpled up Charizard, and yeah, that brought tears in my eyes. So, but yeah, man, I just kept the game, and then I stacked it away and started playing Magic and got really interested in that, and they just haven't been touched then ever since then. So
and they were in the binders for the last, what, 25 years?
Yeah, the last 25 years I kept it in the Ultra Pro. The pages were very soft at the time. Sleeves back then were actually just coming out, so it was very hard to even obtain those.
You would just put them directly in the plastic, like binder sleeves.
Yeah, it wasn't even a thought of using like the soft sleeves at all.
No one did.
More just using the red one, like the red and black and clear ones. That's all they had. So we put them in there, and in fact, to maintain the cards that I had, we had to put them upside down, and then we would put it in a 9-page.
Oh, okay.
Traditionally.
Yep.
Because that's all we had, and we thought that was the best way to protect the cards.
The fact that you even thought about that, though, at that age, like, is crazy to me, because I feel like when I was collecting Pokemon, I didn't think to make sure that they were super clean and protected. Like, I was 9 years old, 10 years old when Pokemon came out in the US, and I don't know where mine went. So to see that you still have the first ed set was insane, and I'm really excited for this. I hope you are. I know you've been eager to see what the grades are. And again, Jason, I can't thank you enough for this. Like, this was so cool to do, and I'm so glad I get to share it with everyone on the channel. And yeah, we're gonna get right into it.
All right, so start with this first one here.
This is your first PSA submission too, right?
Yeah, this is my very first PSA submission. And starting off already right out the gate with Charizard Unlimited.
Base set Unlimited.
Yeah. But here we go. Oh,
six.
All right. Yeah, this Charizard I probably won most likely from a tournament.
I remember you saying that.
Yeah, so the prize was a Charizard, so I was nice, just kept it in. But
so I think this got a 6 because in my last video, I did notice a slight binder ding on this side here. So it's probably going to be hard to see, but it's on this left side.
Yeah.
And I'm almost certain it's because of the O-ring binders that you used, like everyone else. Like, we didn't have fancy binders that we do now. And because of the way that those pages were built with those O-rings, when you would fold that binder over, you can see it right here.
I can
actually
see it, yeah.
I tried flattening this to my best ability, and it just kept raising back to where it was. And I just don't feel comfortable doing like a humidor or something like that, where you're like adding moisture to flatten it out. Too dangerous, too risky for me. And there's some light scratches. So like here was the thing, like with binder dents or like any dents in these vintage cards or even modern, PSA will auto 6 it.
Yeah.
It's just like, to them, they see it as that there's like actual physical damage to the card. Whereas like some hollow scratches you can see are pretty subtle. But overall, I mean, a 6 still goes for around $200 to $300 if I remember correctly.
Oh, nice.
Not bad, not bad. I think we have another one.
Yeah, I have two. I think I submitted two of
Two
them.
unlimiteds.
Yep. So here's the second one.
We can bring it right there. Perfect.
And we got
Boom.
an 8.
Not bad.
All right,
Not bad. That's
okay.
like 650, almost
All right.
$700 in an 8.
I'm liking it.
It's much better than a 6.
Oh yeah, better than a. Yeah, I don't see that binder.
Yeah, you
thing in
definitely
there.
wouldn't. And I think the only things are some small bits of whitening on the back. So if you flip it over, you probably see like in these
The
corners.
corners, yeah.
Which, I mean, for a card that's plus 25 years and a PSA 8.
Yeah, just doing the math, and I was like, this has been over 25 years
Yep.
since these cards been out. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're going to first.
All right, this is Alakazam, first edition. And 6 also. I think this is also the one that had the
Binder dent.
in
Yep.
it too.
And if you think about it, both of these cards are above one another in the binder, closest
true,
to the
yeah,
D
there's
rings.
1, 2, and 3.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
So
then
exactly.
the
So
one.
fourth one would be the Charizard.
Makes
yeah.
perfect sense.
Yeah. And then, I mean, outside of that, I thought the hollows on all of your cards looked really nice. I think wherever all the wear is on these first eds is going to be on the back. Yeah, the hollow actually looks really good. Binder dent, who knows? That could be something someone could get out if they wanted to crack and resub that, but that's risky
Yeah.
for something so old.
Yeah.
Yeah. Clefairy. This is a tough one.
I know everyone says that Clefairy and Chansey are very difficult
Yeah.
because of the white.
The
hollow.
the hollow pattern is very obvious,
Yeah.
and you can see those scratches really easily.
7.
Not bad.
It's not bad.
I personally feel like anything 7 and above for something as old as this is, I mean, in my opinion, is really strong.
Yeah, it's got, I think, some of the foil. You can see the sparkling on the
outer parts. Yeah. Gary.
Good go, Gary. All right.
I love this card.
I know it was very eye-catching the first
Yeah.
time. I think some of these were coming out of the starter sets too when I first started coming
I
out.
believe this was
Yeah.
in a deck of some sort.
Yeah. But here.
What deck did you play? Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
An 8.
That's a strong one.
Yeah, that's pretty good. You were asking about what deck did I
Yeah,
play?
what deck did you play?
When Pokemon first came out, I was looking at that Scry, and I think it was like even Duelist at the time.
Okay.
But it was called Haymaker deck. A Haymaker deck mainly had Hitmonchan, Electabuzz,
Yep.
and Scyther.
Okay.
Just because they were so easily they're basic Pokemon.
You get them
didn't
out
have
quick.
To, yeah, you didn't have to evolve them. And the retreat cross on them were just so minimal.
And they did a lot of damage from my
They
understanding.
did a lot of damage. And
But
it was like
was that deck also called like a beatdown deck?
It was. I think it was called like a beatdown deck.
I know Haymaker sounds familiar.
Yeah, they called it a Haymaker at the time when
Okay.
I was using it. And it was very, very popular at the time. And then, yeah, with that deck, you had like super energy removals, you had scoop ups, super potions, and stuff like that. And that deck actually was pretty versatile against any type of deck. So,
Oh, wow.
So you had all the different weaknesses, so you can
Okay.
just swap them out and stuff like that. So, I haven't played a game of that in a long time.
Yeah,
other
I
than
can
the
imagine.
other than the current like Pokemon Pocket right now.
Yeah,
so.
everyone's playing
Yeah.
that. My partner has been playing that more than I have. Like she's like level 25 if I remember correctly.
jeez.
I'm like level 3 or 4. Let's get into it. First Venusaur.
All right,
Okay, we're off to the
Here we
trio.
go. So first edition and 6. I think this was probably the.
That was the week. Yeah, there was a
one.
week one,
Yeah.
and yeah,
I think there was some whitening on this one.
I think I put this around a 6 or 7.
Yeah,
Best
you can
bet.
see the whitening on here
Yeah.
on this right here.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I'm assuming the next one is another Venusaur then.
maybe.
All right, so this is probably the better one, my understanding, and we got 7, just a
7.
little bit slightly
Strong.
better.
Yep,
Okay,
that's solid.
I'm liking it.
Which is your favorite of the trio? Is it Charizard?
Probably the Charizard, just
Okay.
because it was very iconic at the time.
Fair. Yeah, it still
when I
is
was
to
there.
this day.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
They've reprinted it. I can't tell you how many times.
All right, here we go. We got the
Blastoise,
Blastoise,
my
first
favorite.
edition.
As you can see, like the centering, look at the
It
top
does,
to
yeah.
bottom. I think I mentioned this to you when we were looking at these. And your other copy like is probably had better centering, but overall it just had way
The
more
condition
wear.
of the card
Yeah.
on there. And
7.
All right, 7s.
Love it.
Yeah, you actually, when we first kind of like appraised them when we were going through all
Yep.
these, you had pretty good, like a high index of suspicion that some of these cards were like, okay, this is straight off a 7.
Yeah.
And then a 7. So I was like, I'm pretty impressed right now, because it's right now you're kind of like on point of what
I
you were saying
appreciate
earlier.
it.
So that was
I'm not
really
even
cool.
trying to pat myself
No,
on the
no,
back,
no,
but
dude,
after
like-
seeing the grades, I was like, oh damn. There's one. We'll discuss it, but there is one thing I don't even want to say anymore. Let's just we're going into the heat, y'all. It's first ed Charizard time.
All right. Here we go. This is first edition Charizard.
Yes.
And we got a 6.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
This is the weirdest grade I've ever seen.
Why is that? I usually just see solid numbers.
So
maybe close to an 8.5 I've seen, but I've never seen a 6.5.
I'm gonna make a video about this, Jason, but PSA's site was kind of messed up, and on the homepage, I could see the first 5 cards in assembly. So when the cards are in PSA, so when the cards are in submission with PSA, there's several stages, right? For those that grade. And the stage after grading is assembly. And you're not supposed to see the scans of the PSA cards until after assembly and QA checks, and that's when they tell you, hey, you've been upcharged or your submission is like complete and they'll be shipped and you can see the scans. But for some reason, I could see the scans early, the first 5 cards, and this was a 7, and the second grader changed it.
What?
So I have video evidence
That's
of
wild.
this cert being a PSA 7, and the second grader went in and changed it, and it got a 6.5. So this card was actually a PSA 7, and they changed it to a 6.5. I'll pop it on screen too, where you can see this same cert. But yeah,
numbers match too.
yeah, it's the 4.5 cert.
Interesting.
And what's a little unfortunate about that is that these are sequential. So these are 4.4, 4.5, and 4.6. So these would have been the sequential trio. That being said, a 6.5 is better than a 6.
That's true.
And I think my prediction on one of these was a potential 6 or 7. And I think that this is a very, like, if you look at the front of this thing, it's, I think what really it came down to, it has that silvering there coming through, and it has this print line here. In my opinion, after looking at this, they're really close, both copies. And that's just how I saw it. And so this is your final and last.
This is the last Zard.
Last Zard.
All right. And what do we have here? We have a 7. You
Yes,
finally got a 7.
that is
Okay.
a big card.
All right.
Congrats.
Okay. Cool, man. Yeah, exciting.
This is, I want to say, in the current market, it's going for like 8.5 to 9 grand. It's a huge card. And this card's probably, this one here is probably very close. I've seen 6s go for more than 7s, and because they're older certs, the 6 was more valuable because people favor the newer certs. So these being newer cert first eds, in my opinion, give a premium. The fact that you have the trio too is an additional premium.
Yeah.
And with the way the market is, a PSA 8 just sold for 12 grand. So I mean, there's a gap between the two, but not as wide as you would think for something of this old. I would expect an 8 being probably closer to 14, but because the 9 right now is selling for 25 to 30 grand. It's a lot of money right now.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at this card in particular about a year ago, and it was selling, and a PSA 9 was 18. So like the prices have increased quite a bit in this current boom that we're in. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool,
Yeah.
man. No, this
Congrats,
is
man.
Yeah, this is a.
This was something, yeah, this was amazing. I mean, your first submission being a ton of first ed base is pretty huge. How do you feel after this whole experience? Like grading with me, this like, I know like we talked about this. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
understand that these are very rare old cards, and you basically gave it to a stranger that you've only probably met twice in person.
Yeah,
And
that was a big gamble that I took, but you know, I know with anything with new that there has to be a risk, and I just, you know, like in my heart I was like, you know, why not, you know?
Yeah.
And like based off of your experience and like how much you truly love the game and like how much you cherish just the Pokemon card community and stuff like that, I was like, okay, I have to go with my gut feeling, and there was a lot of trust into that. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. Like, what do else I have to lose other than a Charizard, 2 Charizards, or whatever. But it's like I still have another one. So
yes,
like,
you do. Yeah, the
master
master set has to stay together.
Yeah.
That is such a beauty.
Yeah, I still have an ungraded master set of the first edition Pokemon set. So, but yeah, I'm really thrilled. I'm very glad that I like ran into you guys at the coffee shop. And,
it's crazy to me.
But yeah, this is a cool like friendship. I like to call it now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so this is really cool. Because like I didn't know what to do in the first place with all these cards, so
I understand. It's super overwhelming. Like when I got back into the hobby, it was at the beginning of 2020, and the boom was happening, and I thought, you know, this is insane. Like, I don't know how you navigate this. And through the internet, through YouTube, through, you know, local people, I learned so much so quickly. And I feel like having that knowledge is something that should be shared with people that are coming back, because I know that it's overwhelming. You're almost intimidated. You don't know if someone's going to take advantage of you. And there's a lot of that, but there's also a lot of good people. And I hope that this shows that there are like people that are, you know, that are trustworthy in this hobby. And like I said, I can't thank you enough, dude. This is sick. Like, I've graded first ed Blastoises, I've graded first ed Venusaurs, but Charizard never. And then to do 2 is beyond me. Like, this is crazy, y'all. And yeah, hopefully we sell a bunch of this soon. This is going to definitely be great for you and your family, but also a way for you to build your collection in whatever way you want to take it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. I for this year, I just I got back into the game, so now like, what's the next thing?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, you're into modern. We graded some modern for you too.
Yeah, a couple of cards.
I see the modern binder already starting up.
But yeah, I'm excited to get back into the game.
Yeah.
See where things are going, and then I don't know, maybe another 25 years, my daughter will take care of this. So yeah.
And there's a local card shop that I can recommend if you were ever like trying to play on the weekend sometime too. It's probably my favorite card shop in the Bay Area.
Dope.
So
sweet.
Yeah. Well, thank you, y'all. Thank you again, Jason. This was amazing. What did you guys think of the grades? Let me know in the comments, and maybe we'll see Jason on the channel in the near future. He does have more cards to grade, so maybe we do another round of this. And until next time, y'all, happy collecting. Peace.